What's happening, Hammers? Dan Lawless here from West Ham Fan TV, here to give you another transfer roundup. Hope you guys have been enjoying your bank holiday weekend. The weather has been absolutely beautiful. So anyway, let's just get into some of the latest transfer news. So first of all, comes the news that we have once again been linked with Stoke City midfielder Ndiaye. Is someone who we were linked with in January and before he joined Stoke and last summer. So now Stoke have finally got relegated. The stories have come out again. And for me, I think that would be a really good signing. They signed him for 14 million in January. Bizarrely, the story was that he chose Stoke over West Ham, which I have no idea why. Maybe there's some sort of link to Stoke, but he did. And we won't hold that against him. You know, as long as he's still got the quality to bring to the side, which I feel that he has got. You know, powerful midfielder, got a bit of pace about him, scored 2 goals and assisted 1 in 13 games. So, you know, I think he would be a good addition to the side. Obviously, the key is price. How much would they want for him? Now, they've paid 14 million. For me, once you get relegated, you're not in a strong bargaining position. So really, for me, I'd be looking to pay 10 million. He's valued currently on the transfer market at around 12 to 13 million. So you'd think that's joining a club that's in a serious has a serious threat of getting relegated, that he would put release clauses in his contract. You would think. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. But yeah, it would be a great signing. The only thing is, obviously, it's if we do sign him, there doesn't seem to be much point of having him and Ndiaye both in the same squad. You know, we've got Obiang, Noble, maybe trying to get another midfielder. Now, I've always been a big fan of Ndiaye, who has been poor, you know, in the past couple of seasons, particularly last season for a lot of it. But you know, the whole team has been poor, and he has shown in certain games that there is still that brilliant player that we signed, you know, years ago in there. You know, he's had some man of the match performances this season. It's just been inconsistent, and that's been his problem. Another player from Stoke we've been linked with is Joe Allen. Joe Allen, who is a player I've rated for quite a while now, done brilliant for Wales, and he's been sort of a bit of a fan favourite at Stoke. So, 28 years old, he's valued about 15 million quid. So, yeah, I wouldn't. It's not a transfer I'd be, you know, angry with or sorry to see us make. But for me, the signing I'd really like us to make in that department would be Jack Wilshere, who hasn't committed his future to Arsenal yet. Obviously, they've just got a new manager in. He's a player that we've been linked with previously. Got connections to West Ham. You know, if you've seen the picture of him in the West Ham kit. You know, if it's a free transfer, then we can pay him the wages that he wants, and that might convince him enough to stay. To come to West Ham and stay in London. That's the signing I'd like to see happen rather than Joe Allen. Let's talk about the director of football situation now. Very interesting, very exciting stuff, because to me, I really feel like we need a director of football. It would just another little bit of power that's taken away from David Sullivan. Now, we've been linked with 2 names, right? Now, originally, the name that was reported was Eduardo Macia. That's the Leicester City director of football, and I think he worked at Liverpool as well. Now, that's someone that it was reported by a certain sort of in the knows, right? And that's not ex-employee, it's sort of some wannabe in the nose, that it's done. Eduardo Macia is our new director of football. Job done, right? And by the way, if that turns out to be true, and he is the director of football, I take away the air quotations, right? Because they've done a blinder there. However, contrary reports have come out from different sources, including ex-employee who has been quite reliable in the past, that the actual director of football to be named is Mario Husilos, who has worked with Pellegrini at Malaga for many years ago. Argentinian, speaks the same language, and yeah, I mean that one. He's currently at Malaga now. I would prefer Masia, personally. He's got a good track record of players, and he knows the Premier League very well. Whereas Husilos, who has developed some, or signed some really good players. Obviously, Isco is one who's an absolutely quality player. He's got this sort of black mark over his head slightly recently. He was blamed for the relegation of Malaga, or a lot of the blame was put on him with the January transfer window. He made like about 8 signings, and none of them really made an impact, and was able to help keep Malaga up in La Liga, so they got relegated. So that was sort of put on Husilos. So it seems to me that it's another situation, and this will be familiar from our time with Bilic, that it's getting your mate a job type of thing. And that's the one thing that always frustrated me about Bilic, right? It was rather than get the best person for the job, it was he'd have his mates, give his mates the job. So I'm hoping we don't see too much of that with Pellegrini. Nothing's confirmed yet, but all signs are pointing to Husilos, which he still might do a good job. Like I said, it's a recent situation. It's tough when you're down there in a relegation battle and you're signing all these players and you need them to make just that instant impact to try and lift you out of the relegation. And it's a lot of pressure. So, I mean, to me, I'd rather have him than have no director of football and have Sullivan do it. Because as much as, Pellegrini will have the final say over players and it'll be down to him, we don't want Sullivan going in and being the one doing the negotiating. I don't think he's very good at negotiating. He seems to, I don't know, rub people up the wrong way. He's not like the most likeable characters. So if you have someone in there that is experienced at negotiating deals for players and has great connections and is somewhat likeable, we might have a better chance of getting deals over the line. So, yeah, I'm just happy with getting a director of football. But for me, we should be going for Masia. Now, the rumour is that the club favour Masia, but Pellegrini favours Husilos, but they're looking to sort of give some faith to Pellegrini and go with his guy, which, one hand, I'm disappointed because it means we're not getting, in my opinion, someone who'd be a better choice for director of football. But on the other hand, it's a good sign that they're just backing him, and that's what we can't have early on and into Pellegrini's time with us that we're having all these disagreements and the club are doing things that the manager don't want to do. We've appointed him as the manager. Let's just put our trust in him and let him pick who he needs to pick and then judge him by how we do rather than second guess him. So finally, I want to talk about João Mario. It looks like we may be close to agreeing another loan deal for Mario from Inter Milan, which to me I think would be a brilliant deal if we could get that done. I mean, Mario, he started to really sort of come into his own towards the end of the season, and it's a case of not everyone just quickly adapts to the Premier League and is able to get in there and just be firing on all cylinders straight away. There is, for a lot of players, this adaptation period. So it's someone I definitely wanted to see more of at West Ham. But obviously all of that speculation about his price, his original asking price is about 40 million euros or 35 million quid or whatever it is. Now they've got it down to I think about 22, 23 million quid, which is a lot better, but it's still quite a massive chunk off our transfer budget. So if we can get another loan deal off him, I mean this is a very key transfer window. So if we can get another loan deal for Mario, just pay his wages, then focus our efforts elsewhere in the transfer window without that eating into our budget, that'd be a great deal. Like I said, he has started to. I do think he has started to settle into the league, and I'd love to see how he does under Pellegrini in a more attacking team. I think he'd thrive, and he definitely saw, some of what he can offer in last season, basically here and there. So get him in the team consistently, see what he can do. If we like him, then we'll sign him on a permanent. We might even get him cheaper because he'll have less time on his contract. I'm not actually sure how much longer he's got on his contract. So that's all the news that I'm talking about today. We will be back. One of us will be back up. Either me, Ryan, or Scott will be back up with another transfer video tomorrow. Hopefully there are more information to update you guys with. But yeah, so like I said, I hope you guys have been enjoying yourself. Don't forget, check out all our other videos, subscribe, all of that stuff. One thing left to say, come on you Irons.